Well, ladies and gentlemen, we now have our official full deep dive for Sights and Sounds on EA Sports College Football 25, which we're going to break down in today's video. Of course, if you are new to the channel and haven't already, hit that like, subscribe, turn that bell on as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. I'm so excited to break this one down for you guys. It's going to be fun. But before we get into that, tonight the Atlanta Hawks do have the #1 overall pick in the NBA draft. It starts tonight, 2 rounds for the draft. It's going to be tonight and tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, or it is just tonight. But regardless, though, there's speculation on what the Atlanta Hawks are going to do. I think it's pretty clear that they're going to take Alex Starr. I said that in yesterday's video. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below. But that is what is happening tonight. Today, we are also going to be going over the Copa America scores, talking about that, and talking about the Euros as well in today's second video of the day, too. So, stick around. 2 videos today, 2 videos tomorrow as well. We'll be talking top offenses and defenses. Probably going to be predicting those earlier in the morning. If we have time to get a video out, we'll do it later today. But there are going to be some predictions for the top overall offenses and defenses, and we will break that down as well. So stay tuned for EA Sports College Football 25 news here on the channel. But as always, we got some news to go over right here regarding the sights and sounds of the game. So let's go ahead and break it down in today's video. Okay, so how this vlog starts off is basically it starts about the vision. And the vision says, during our development, we came in every day with the reminder that every team is someone's favorite team out there. This led us to focus on ensuring the presentation contained as much of the detail, sights and sounds, and traditions of the 134 FBS schools as possible in College Football 25. Below is a behind-the-scenes guide of how a team of college football fanatics came together and packed it all into the game. So, we're breaking it down. That was the vision. Now let's go ahead and start hopping into it, which, of course, first off, is the sights and sounds. So let's go ahead and get into that right now. It says, picture this. You are playing as Penn State, getting ready to take on your opponent. This all starts with your team running out of the tunnel to Zombie Nation, blasting, and the whole stadium chanting, "We are Penn State." We created that feeling, sound, and visuals of pregame as if you are down on the field with them. There's nothing like it, and we wanted to make sure that you could experience the same feeling with these players that these players have when you are walking out as your favorite team. So right off the bat, it's saying that they have created the most iconic atmosphere. For #1, Penn State, it's the whiteout. For LSU, it's night games in Death Valley. Stuff like that. That's going to been confirmed in the game. They're just kind of reassuring that as well. Then it goes on to talk about traditions, and it states, game day tradition is a key element of what separates Saturday from Sunday all around the country. Knowing this, we went to painstaking lengths to build out and capture the sights and sounds of college football. Now, that has me more interested in this vlog, by the way, but it also has me more interested in the behind-the-scenes stuff. I watched the deep dive a couple times already. It's fun. I'll break that down probably in a separate video here coming later, so stay tuned for that one. But, again, all the traditions for game days are going to be in the game as well. Next, it talks about runouts, and it says, to nail down the authentic feeling of college football, the school atmosphere is where it all begins. Walk out of the tunnel with 1,000 family and friends, 100,000 family and friends screaming for you, supporting you as well. We stay up close and personal with our camera style throughout the game. This is done so you can feel the excitement with our epic runouts for each team and feel like you are just as much part of the team as the real players. So, that little part of the article just talks about, hey, if your team has a run out, kind of like, for example, Clemson's Memorial or Death Valley, the Hill at Clemson, Alabama's walkout to where they touch the Be a Champion sign, LSU, Notre Dame's where they touch the Play Like a Champion sign. So, all of those are going to be in the game. All of the most iconic stuff is going to be in the game as well. Next, it talks about motion capture. And really quickly, before we continue on, this video is going to be a little bit longer than most videos that we talk about because this article is a little bit longer. So, we're breaking down the full article today. Let's go ahead and jump right back into it with motion capture. And it says, motion capture was the key to ensuring the accuracy and detail of all the props from historical items to the brand new tradition of game day. Every prop was built to its accurate size and weight, then mocapped in a studio, allowing real people to interact with them. Simply using a stand-in object would not replicate the authenticity. It goes on to say, we built a 2-story rep to replicate the hill for the Clemson runout. We hired stunt actors to give us their best jumps in the middle of the hill and run down the ramp like they were getting ready to meet their biggest rival for the biggest game of their lives. It continues and says, we built the Notre Dame stairs leading to the classic tradition of taping on the play like a champion sign. For Purdue, we built the rotating bass drum to pay off their pregame show as well. So basically, it's talking about all the traditions. Example, the hill for Clemson, like I just said, the run out, the play like a champion sign for Notre Dame, but they're also implementing the Purdue stuff as well. It continues on by saying Georgia, Boston College, Louisiana Lafayette, and Florida State each have tear through banners when they enter the field. To mocap this, we first created a door frame to mocap the header touches like for Virginia, Wisconsin, and many others. Then we hung pool noodles from the top of that. The players ran through tearing down the pool noodles to simulate the effect of ripping the banner down the middle. So basically, they've gone through a lot to get that right for the game. It's crazy how much that they have already gone through and what they're going to go through as well for future games as well. So stay tuned for that one with coaches and stuff like that too. But it continues on by saying, for the Gators tunnel, we traveled to Gainesville to get an exact scan of the Gator statue that the players tap on their way from the locker room to the field. We also created a prop with the exact height to mocap tapping the Gator head, then walking down the tunnel to swamp sign overhead as well. So they went down to Florida, got all of that stuff out the way. There's a picture of it on the vlog. I'll put it up on the screen right now. But they went to extreme stuff to get that as well. And that says, and this ends by saying, while those are just a few examples of the links we went to, you can be sure there is something for fans of every team. We're talking cannons going off for kickoffs and TDs, smoke for UCF touchdowns, and all the way to the fountain at Arkansas State as well. They've got everything in this game. And of course, once we get further down through this article, they're going to be elaborating more on that, which we'll talk about in a bit. But up next is mascots. And it says, speaking of game day, mascots are one of the most fun aspects of college football. The variety and detail is unmatched across sports. This encompasses everything from humans in massive costumes to real animals. We have 50 total mascots in the game, including 40 team mascots and 10 real animals representing their schools. So, basically saying they went all out for the mascots as well. It says, it also continues to say, for the mascots, we initially did a lot of internal research for each one, checking on what's unique about each mascot and what do fans enjoy about them the most as well. It says, for example, the Texas Hook'em had Follow Me Eyes. The team worked well to get that same level of practical effect in the game. It also says, along the way, we talked to alumni and our school contacts to find out even more little details. Mascots such as the Sanford Tree and the Change Every Year, or even animal mascots that grew over time, such as Ralphie from Colorado. We did adjustments on her as she aged into new reigns as well. Fun things that we've learned along the way, like how Boomer and Sooner have the OU logo painted in their hooves as well. And it basically just says they can't touch on all the mascots, but they do have in game. But be sure to check out your favorite school and see what unique quirks or you can find about them as well. And then that's pretty much it for mascots as well. Mascots are going to be really cool to see. I'm just to see they're going to do stuff with South Alabama, Auburn, with LSU, all those guys as well. Next, it talks about turnover traditions and the new era as well. Like I said, this video is going to be a little long. It's already like 7 or 8 minutes right now, but it's still, this is a fun time, so let's keep it going with the breakdowns of EA College Football 25 and with turnover traditions. It says the new era. Not only do we have classic school traditions in the game, but the new era of traditions, including turnover and touchdown props, made it into the game as well. All this action takes place during gameplay, and examples of what you might see are chainsaws, championship belts, basketball hoops, and even a throne as well. Basically, calling out Georgia, Pittsburgh as well for their basketball hoop, the turnover belt that they do for Georgia, the Miami U that they have as well. All of those are going to be in the game as well. Next, it talks about the field that we play on, where it says where you play is one of the most important aspects of your college football experience. We are proud to say that we worked hard to deliver as many stadiums with as much accuracy as possible. This was achieved by visiting local venues such as the University of Florida to gather detailed references from every corner of the stadium that we could possibly find. For schools that were farther away, we requested reference material and over 80 schools responded, providing an average of 1,000 photos each, amounting to a staggering amount of nearly 80,000 photos to reference from. Additionally, we plan to update stadiums post-launch as we receive new architecture and designs from schools so that CFB 25 is authentic to everything you see on Saturdays. And then it continues on by saying to streamline the stadium creation processes, the team utilized a specialized stadium toolkit that allowed us to develop all of the essential structures for a stadium in record time. Things like tunnels, stairs, and stands are crucial to the authenticity of college football stadium, and this tool allowed us to create that experience for you. This toolkit enabled the artist to focus on crafting unique architectural details and implementing real-time lighting effects, ensuring that each stadium was both accurate and visually stunning. This efficient workflow allowed the team to meet the ambitious goal of building over 150 stadiums within a single production cycle while maintaining high quality and attention to detail as well. So, stadiums, they're a big part of college football. Basically, that is just reiterating the fact that they went to links. They tried to go to local one, obviously with EA being down or in Orlando. Florida was definitely the closest one. UCF was kind of the closest one as well. So they went to the stadiums that they could go to, and the ones they didn't, they requested materials saying, hey, we'd like to reference your materials and rebuild what I think the stadium would look like in the game as well, which I think is really cool. I think it's an important part of of the fact of college football. It's unique to college football in its own way. But let's go ahead and move on to uniforms. And it says, suit up in your favorite uniform is the next category. It says, college threads are ever-changing each year and even game to game for some teams. Real-world uniforms are made with countless variations of clothing materials, stitching patterns, colors, patches, stripes, logos, names, and numbers. To be able to create uniforms for 134 teams with multiple variations and the helmet, we had to create a brand new tool set which allowed artists and designers to build uniforms in real time, seeing their work instantly in Engine. This allowed the team to create incredibly detailed uniforms across 134 FBS schools. Now, we're going to get into the sights and sound stuff with Emotional Soundscape. It says, as we're getting the sights locked in, we knew the sounds would be just as crucial to ensure the soundscape of college football delivered. The feeling of being at a game, the crowd, band, cheerleaders, chants, PA music between plays is unlike any other sport. And then here is where we get into the crowd noise and what today's deep dive was all about. So let's go ahead and break it all down as well. Crowd noise, it says, over the last 2 seasons, we worked with ESPN to capture crowd audio straight from their broadcast. From Autzen Stadium in Oregon to Death Valley, both of them, LSU and Clemson, and more. This content will function as our crowd noise, swells, and reactions that you'll experience in every game you play. Remember, it says, remember that OT game from 2022 between LSU and Alabama? Yeah, we were there and we got all of it. So that right there is saying that, hey, the more important games, they're going to be just as big as the little games, but it also says that they went to definite links to capture crowd audio straight from their broadcast as well. And it continues on by saying, in addition to that game in Baton Rouge, we ended up capturing crowd noise from 41 games in places like Oregon State, Georgia, Florida State, Duke, UCLA, Texas, West Virginia, Georgia Tech, Miami, Ole Miss, Missouri, Kentucky, NC State, North Carolina, USC, Florida, Auburn, Louisville, Washington, Alabama, Michigan, and from the previously mentioned LSU, Clemson, and Oregon. Those are all 41 schools that they went to capture crowd noises. So, for example, the crowd noise at Auburn is going to be, it's one of the most fun to watch, especially in the lower bowl. It's one of the more fun experiences that you will have, especially when they come on with swag surf in the fourth quarter. Florida is going to be another one when it's the 2:30 or noon game. Those games usually are some of the hardest games to play in college football in general when it comes to just college football in general and the swamp. It gets loud. It's hot in Florida, especially at noon or 2:30. Auburn had that trouble a couple of years ago when they played Florida at 2:30 as well. I'm expecting it to kind of be the same thing, but that is what the links that they went to get this right for EA Sports College Football 25. Then it talks about fight songs, and it goes on to say one of our featured producers, Torsten Staley, Oregon marching band alumni, traveled to Nashville to record every team's fight song. We utilized an amazing group of musicians who were just as passionate as us in getting these songs right. Many were previous students and alumni from schools like Oklahoma, North Texas, Vanderbilt, USC, Auburn, and Tennessee. So, Auburn's fight song that they do, I'm off the top of my head, I can't think of it. I don't know why, but my brain's dead right now. But Rocky Top is going to be in the game. USC's Fight On is going to be in the game as well. Auburn, the War Eagle chant, stuff like that. All of that stuff is going to be in the game as well. Don't know why I can't think of our fight song, what it's called right now. I think it's just called War Eagle, but that's going to be in the game as well. Crowd themes. Another example of what makes college football so special are the theme games when the crowd comes together in unison to create a pattern across the stadium. From the checkerboard pattern at Tennessee to the stripe layout at Boise State, we have over 170 different patterns for schools that have them in real life. Each seat in the stadium was hand set up seat by seat to match the patterns. Excuse me, that was a little bit for my brain to take in apparently. Also, if your school has multiple themes, these are in too. Where here we have the stripe out, the helmet stripe, and then one of the most electric atmospheres in college football, the whiteout game, especially for Penn State. It's really important to me that they get that whiteout game correct for Penn State. That's one of their most traditions. It's my bucket list to cross off going to a game at Penn State. But again, that is one of the ones that is very important as well. Then they go on to talk about dynamic attendance. It says a new feature to help bring more authenticity into the game revolves around attendance levels in the stadium. To help paint a better picture, here is a great example from one of our team members who was playing a dynasty with FIU. During the first couple of games, the stands were not very full, which resulted in a lower home field advantage stadium pulse. Once he landed a big win on the road at Indiana, and the team record was 7-0, the stands were becoming more full to start the game. By the end of the season, with a 10-1 record and finishing in the top 25 rankings, home games would result in sellout crowds, and home field advantage pulse meter was rocking high on the way to the conference championship. So basically, it's saying out, hey, if you're a smaller school like South Alabama, for example, those crowds aren't going to be as full for a game. But as you get bigger and as you play these big games at home, like, for example, the Troy game is going to be a big one in the game, I'm sure. As you get better and get more wins and stuff like that, then obviously it is going to be more fuller and stuff like that for the game as well. Then it talks about the high energy student section. It says the student section is the lifeblood of the stadium that brings the energy, passion, and emotion that spreads across the full stadium, creating that over-the-top college football atmosphere that we all love. We all know that the students do all game stand and cheer, so in the game, the student section stands the whole game cheering on their team. We captured both male and female actors of the top of their lungs to recreate those high-intensity third-down moments. Not only are the big moments captured, but are also heartbreaking ones as well. Anyone remember the Surrender Cobra? It's in the game. Just don't miss that game-winning field goal, and you will be spared. So, again, saying what links that they went to is important for EA to get this right, especially for their sake of Madden as well. I know a lot of people are saying, hey, it's a Madden clone, but this game is not, and it's far from being a Madden clone as well. Up next, and I believe the final one right here, well, the second to final one, is going to be, for the most part, the chants and the hand signals as well. It says, next, we researched schools and captured each team's hand signals. During pregame runouts and after positive plays throughout the game, you will be able to see the fans supporting the team. A few examples include Wisconsin's W, the Miami U, Nebraska Bones, Duke Bull City, NC State Wolfpack, and etc. as well. I'm not going to go through all of them. The Oregon O is one of them as well. Texas A&M's Gig'em. South Alabama's Jahan is on there as well. I'm so glad that that is going to be on there. I was excited. It also says plus many more. I'm not going to go over all of them. You guys can go over them, and I'll leave a link in that as well in the bottom and in the description in the comments as well, whatever you guys need. But it goes on to say chants is another huge tradition essential to college football is stadium-wide chants. The fans, alumni, and students all work to fire up their players and inspirational rally cry to intimidate the opposition when your favorite team needs a critical stop. It says, beyond what I've already mentioned, here are the few of the more chants to listen for. It says Texas's Texas Fight, TCU's Riff Ram, Auburn's War Eagle Pay, Missouri's Mizzou, and stuff like that as well. Again, I'm not going to go over all of these, but it's saying even the SEC schools that they got in the game, they're going to be chanting SEC as well. So that's going to be in the game. Up next, really, it just talks about the iconic voices in the booth, like we already know, and stuff like that. So I won't go over that one, but it does talk about studio updates as well, and then celebrations and stuff like that as well. This video, again, is going to end right here. I'm not going to go over all of this, but you guys can read it for yourself. I will go over the one particular aspect that I like before we hit this video, and that's studio updates. It's basically saying that they're going to update you throughout your game on what's happening week to week in your Dynasty mode, in your Road to Glory mode. And if you're playing online Dynasty, then you'll hear about scores from other members as well. Again, this video is long, so I am going to cut it short for today. That's where I'm going to leave it. Studio updates. All of this stuff is very exciting. You guys can go read it in the vlog yourselves for Madden 20, or for EA Sports College Football 25 as well. Again, not going to go over all of this. We'll talk more college football, I'm sure, and I'll get the rest of this out before we do our top overall predictions and stuff like that. But I'm not going over all of it right now, so that is where I'm going to cut this portion of the video. Anyway, of course, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like, subscribe, turn that bell on. We do our best to post on this channel every single day. With that being said, I'm going to hop off, get this edited so you guys can watch it on time. Again, a little bit of a longer video for you guys. Sorry about that, but hey, it is what it is, as we have a lot of college football 25 news to go over as well. So stay tuned for part 2 of breaking this down as well, and for our predictions of EA, or of the top offenses and defenses for tomorrow. And then tomorrow we will also have our predictions for the team overall rankings as well. Stay tuned for all of it tomorrow throughout the day as well. Again, hit that like, subscribe button if you're in the EA Sports College Football 25. Hit that like button, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.